welcome to Pocket of Inspiration, where we create better versions of ourselves. Now, have you ever considered creating a source of income for yourself, or wonder what it takes to become a successful entrepreneur? Then my guest will be showing us how to. Dr. Rosh Khan is a medical doctor with a passion for entrepreneurship. He is the president of the Masterclass Institute, Franklin Covey Guyana, and Social Rank Media, Guyana's leading digital marketing agency. He runs his businesses on the rule of purpose, impact, and legacy. Rosh, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making the time to be out here. The last time we met, we did our interview talking about social media, and you shared a lot of information there. And thank you for making the time to come again.
Happy to do it. Happy to share knowledge, and happy to be interviewed by the one and only Ruth.
Okay, great. So let's talk about entrepreneurship.
Sure.
What do you think entrepreneurship can offer to our society? Why is it needed?
Right.
And do you think that a name tag of entrepreneur can be achieved by anyone, or some persons are somewhat cut out to be employees? What are your thoughts on this?
Great question. So let's deal with the first half of it about entrepreneurship, and I guess its role in society, or its role for society. You know, the truth is we live in an economic world, right? This world is run by commerce, and we often say that money is the byproduct of the value that you create, right? So as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that you're not driven by the money. You know, I hear a lot of young entrepreneurs come up, I want to make X amount of dollars by X date, and they're focusing on the wrong thing, right? You have to understand that as an entrepreneur, you are a problem solver.
Yes.
As an entrepreneur, what you really are is a value provider, right? Where can you provide value in the world? Is there someone suffering from something? Is there an issue somewhere? Is someone complaining about something? And you can provide a solution to that. Because what you're doing is you're adding value to the world.
Yeah.
And in exchange for that value, there's the customer transaction, right? There's the money component of that. Now, I love this definition by Peter Diamandis. He's the guy behind X. He wrote a book called Abundance, and one of his most recent books is called Bold. This is the guy behind Singularity University. He does phenomenal work around the world. And he talked about redefining the word billionaire. You know, and he said, what if it wasn't about trying to become a billionaire? What if you wanted to impact 1 billion people? Now, if you created a solution that could impact 1 billion people, governments, private sector organizations, consumers would essentially pay an individual for that solution. And in exchange for the value that you create, there's money involved as well. So it's not for the entrepreneurs out there who are thinking about the financial side of it. Yes, that's an important component, but think bigger and think broader. That's your commitment and your role in society.
Now, you're starting out in 2018. You have a lack of resources. You probably might not be so skilled,
right,
but you want to create a source of income for yourself. How will you go about creating a source of income, or will you start to build a business?
Okay, great question. And I think I skimmed over the second half of the first question, which was about the name tag of the entrepreneur, right? So perhaps we can talk a little about that and then segue into this question as well. You know, I think to be an entrepreneur or entrepreneurship, they've become buzzwords. You know, everyone's talking about, I want to be an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. And the truth is, you don't just become an entrepreneur, right? When we talk about being an entrepreneur, we talk about the entrepreneurial mindset. Okay? Because as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that, yes, I'm giving value to the world, but there are ways to give value to the world. There are a lot of individuals out there that want to be entrepreneurs because they want to increase their income potential. They want to increase how much they bring in. They want to, level up their bottom line, as some might say. Focus on providing value. Focus on what mindsets do I need to have to be an entrepreneur. Focus on what skill sets do I need to have to be an entrepreneur. Focus on what tool sets do I need to have to be an entrepreneur. We call this the 3S philosophy, the 3 sets of life. Because how many times have we seen people with the right tools and the right skills but lack the mindset? Because it's not easy. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. We see the nice pictures on Facebook and people on the yacht and people in the nice car. But there's a lot of hard work that went into that. And oftentimes what you see is that highlight reel. You don't see the late nights, the hours, the grueling hours, missing absolutely people showing up and saying, well, hey, I quit. And I mean, these things happen as an entrepreneur. You have to be nimble to deal with that. So what I often tell people is have a level of self-awareness. Have a level of self-awareness that asks yourself, do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? But don't get stuck in that stage of just asking yourself a question. Go and give it a shot.
Yeah, because a lot of people do a lot of research.
Yes.
You have to make sure that everything is on point before they start taking action.
Right. And we call that analysis paralysis. Right? You get paralyzed by the amount of information out there. You're not sure what to do, where to go. You've done this research. You've asked your mom. You've asked your uncle. Your cousin has an opinion. Your best friend says, no, you shouldn't do it. And you're in this place of, what do I do?
Yeah.
So we often tell people, look, sometimes you got to take the plunge. Take the leap, a smart leap, right? But learn throughout the journey. And there are really 2 ways to approach this. The first way is to find a mentor. Find a mentor who's been there. Look, there's no shortcut to success, but you can accelerate your success by finding people who've been there and who've done that.
So what would you recommend, how we go about finding a mentor, especially in our society?
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to start paying attention. Start paying attention to who are the people that are putting value out there. Who are the people that are willing to coach, that are willing to mentor. Start to get into the right groups. A lot of times, because of computers and the age of technology that we live in, we get very comfortable behind our laptop and behind our phone. And we reach out to people via Facebook message, but we don't actually go to meetings. There are many groups out there, right? There are many youth groups that people should be a part of. There's the Chamber of Commerce, for example, that people should go be a part of. When they've got free events that are happening about commerce and technology and youth development, you should start paying attention and start going to those meetings.
I heard you have an event that is coming up.
Yes. So last year we launched the first ever Digital Wealth Creation Summit. It was a massive success. We had over 700 people there. I mean, we packed Marriott. It was absolutely amazing. But what made me even more proud was the fact that people didn't just attend another event. A lot of people took down the actionable insights from the event and then went and took action. Right? So we actually have heard now from just over 100 people who've reached out to us to tell us, I've either made a part-time income, a supplemental income. In some cases, some people have completely replaced their income and are now working from home from the computer. It's amazing, right? So we do have an upcoming event. It is free. It is a ticketed event, although it's free, so you've got to secure your ticket. And what we tell individuals is to come out to events like that. You will meet people. You will see who the leaders are. You will find peers. And in that journey, you'll start to notice, hey, I can lean on that one person or that one organization for success. Different people have different coaches. You may have a health coach. You may have a spiritual coach. You may have a business coach. You may have a sports coach. I mean, there's no limit to what you can do, but you need to first find clarity, or a mentor can help guide you through that process.
So the first one is mentor.
Find a mentor. That's one. And 2, figure it out on your own.
Just take action.
I have.
If you fall, you get up back again. Maybe the method did not work. Try a different method. Don't give up.
We call that failing forward, right? Fail forward. Learn from your mistakes. And even if you're not working with someone one-on-one, if at my office, if you take a look at my bookshelf, I've got over 200 mentors. Those are my mentors because they took their life lesson. They took everything that they learned and they put it into a book that you can consume in less than a week, less than a few days, and those are insights given to you. So it's up to you to consume and to implement.
And even if you don't have access to a book, there's YouTube.
There's YouTube.
I think the University of YouTube should probably be a university because there's so many audiobooks. There are different seminars, interviews that teach you so much.
Absolutely.
And there's shown me anything that should deter us from really going out there and learn what it takes to take action.
Absolutely. And you've got to want it, right? You've got to want it, because entrepreneurship, as you mentioned, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. And unless you're driven by your dream, unless you're driven by that big goal, it's going to be easy to stumble and say, you know what, I think I've had enough. So for the young entrepreneurs who are listening, or the aspiring entrepreneurs who are listening, who are thinking about getting started and getting out there, coming to the second question you asked about, well, how do we even get started, I think is what you were asking. You really want to start with a problem. Find a need, fill a need. Period. Find a need, fill a need. That's what an entrepreneur does. So you think about what's lacking in the marketplace, what's deficient. Yes, they may have different solutions, but their customer service might not be great. Or maybe they always run out of certain supplies, right? So you've got an opportunity. People spend money in this marketplace, in this sector, and here's an opportunity for you to have high-end customer service, or offer a courier service, or to ensure that you're always stocked with those goods that always run out. So we tell entrepreneurs, put on your entrepreneurial glasses, right? It's an abstract way of thinking. We're in minibuses, we're in taxis, sometimes we're driving, right? When you stop at a stoplight, the next time you're at a stoplight, what do we always tell our Masterclass students? Look outside the window. And look outside the window with the eye of an entrepreneur. Because what you'll see are problems. And what you'll also see are opportunities. To look at buildings and say, hey, that sign on that building, what if they repainted that sign? Would that have an impact? How many people are going into that store without a bag, and how many people are coming out with a bag? Not many. What's happening in that store? I wonder what the customer service is like. What if they tidied up their windowsills? Would that make a difference? What if they put a promotion on the sidewalk? Would that make a difference? All these individuals out here, what are their issues? What are their challenges? What are their problems? And when you have that entrepreneurial lens on, oh my goodness, it's exciting. Because then you get to say, no one's taking care of that market or that group of people, and you can start to offer something to those individuals. But start with a problem, and then test if the market is going to buy it. That's a big part here. Test it. Test it. I know too many entrepreneurs who dive in. They map out this huge business plan. It's a 50-page business plan. They're doing tons of research for 1 year, 2 years, right? And they don't even know if the market is going to respond. So one of the things we tell our entrepreneurs is to just test, right? Test the market, test your solution. Are people responding? Are people actually intrigued? Don't just go to family and friends, because family and friends are there to support you.
Yes.
Right? So if you come to them and say, hey, I've got a brilliant idea, what do you think? Most of them will say, yeah, why don't go for it? That sounds like a great idea.
Yes. So how do you go about testing? Like, what are the ways that you actually test?
So what you want to do is you want to leverage both physical and you want to leverage digital. Go to who your target audience is. Go to those individuals and ask them, hey, I've got this thing, I'm thinking of putting this thing up. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Go into the streets.
Go into the streets, talk to people, whoever your target audience is. Find to see, are people going to bite? Okay? Find out if this is something they want. Because we're talking about nano and micro entrepreneurs here, right? We're not talking about, no one's coming out with an iPhone 10, or I should say that's already out, right? I think iPhone X is out,
yes,
right? Yes, no one's coming out with, the iPhone XX or something like that. We're talking about small companies getting started, and you want to ensure that that your market wants it, and on top of that you can leverage digital. So we do this for entrepreneurs all the time. They come to us and we're able to help them put it out on Facebook, put it out on the social networks. Are people liking it? Are people sharing it? Are people picking up the phone? You remember, you didn't even launch the company yet. You're just putting it out on digital media to say coming soon or pre-orders or something along those lines. And you can gauge immediately if there's a need for this based on the people who are reaching out to say, tell me more, I'm intrigued.
Right. So you're actually addressing the persons who have the idea,
Yes.
most likely probably the resources.
Yes.
So what about those who don't have any of those resources? They just have the skill, but lack resources, lack money, cash
Right.
to actually get the ball rolling.
Yeah, great
How would
question.
you start? Like, put yourself in that position.
So I was in that position. I'll tell you.
Yes,
I'll tell you.
Probably talk
Yeah.
about your story a bit.
Absolutely. So a lot of people know me as coming from a very affluent family, right? They say, oh, you know, your mom and dad, they have a business, and you got capital funding, you got some startup funds from them. The truth is, I didn't. You know, I actually went to med school. And after graduating from med school, I decided I was going to dive into the world of entrepreneurship. It seemed like a very intriguing world, and I thought it would help me achieve my mission, which is to help people around the world on a global scale. And if I could create businesses that become cash generating machines, essentially, then we can use all that capital to build schools, to build hospitals, to fund humanitarian aid. I'm very driven by, you know, the Bill Gates out there and the Michael Dells and the people who have used entrepreneurship to fund philanthropy. I'm you know, we're nowhere near that. You know, this is a journey, right? But they inspire me. And to get started in business after, you know, leaving med school, everyone thought I was a bit crazy. You know? You graduate with a medical degree, and now you dive into business. And the truth is, I had to go out there and prove to people. I had to prove to them that I'm onto something. So when I started, I had a laptop and an internet connection. At one point, I couldn't even afford an internet connection. I had to go and bump some Wi-Fi off of some folks and off of some organization. Seriously, right? But what you do at that point is to figure out, how can I generate cash flow? Okay, and there's a couple ways you can do that. You can offer a service that doesn't require inventory. Okay, and if you offer a service that doesn't require inventory, well, then you start getting paid, and you could take that cash to bankroll your business operations. Right? You can also borrow, right, which is the route that a lot of individuals go. They'll look at family and friends. They'll go to organizations like Small Business Bureau. It's a bit tougher to go to the banks because they want a history and they want collateral, and a lot of people don't have collateral. So we actually didn't go to the bank when I first got started. I say we because I'm so used to saying we, but it's really me. I didn't go to the bank. What I did was offer a service and got paid for it, and saw that there was success in that, and got another client. And got another client, and got another client, until we could take that cash to invest into a better office, into a better, building a better company. And now we're in a whole bunch of different sectors because of the money that we bankrolled. So for the individuals out there, think about, what can you do? Can you tutor? Can you offer tutoring services? Do people need cleaning services? Do people need research? What do people need out there that you can offer? Learn the skills. There's YouTube, like you mentioned. There's Google. There's no excuse these days. The skills, it's up to you to decide whether you want to learn or not,
So
whether you want to implement.
Who probably might have a job right now, but
Yes.
they want to have their own business sometime.
Right.
So would you advise them to work in the meanwhile,
Yes.
save up?
Yes, absolutely. Look,
Okay.
you know, they say entrepreneurs are risky people. You know, they take risks, and the truth is, they take smart risks. Right. So if you're in a job and you're thinking about entrepreneurship, and you're thinking about launching a business because you see a gap in the market, be smart about it. Be very smart. Don't just quit your job tomorrow because you've got the next big idea and dive into it. No. Save up some funds because you've got a source of income. Save up some funds. Make sure you've got enough of a cushion. Figure out what you may need to bankroll your operations for 6 months. Okay? And then make the smart move. You can even start your business while you're at your job. Okay, when you are done at 4 or 5 p.m., it's really, what do we do with our time? What do we do with our time from 5, 6 p.m. all the way to 12, 1 in the morning?
Yes.
What are we doing? You have to audit your time. If you're serious about being an entrepreneur, audit your time, right? And then use that time effectively, because you can do a lot of damage between, say, 7 and 9 p.m. If you focus on building your company, building your brand, using digital, reaching out to people, talking to your team members, you could get a lot done from 7 to 9 p.m.
So when people say entrepreneur, you usually think like actually setting up a physical structure
Yes.
and all that, but I think there's also online entrepreneur.
Yes.
You could probably start a job online, start
Absolutely.
a business online.
You're absolutely right. Actually, that's part of how we got started as well.
Yeah, because the world is changing.
Yes.
Everything is like you could actually go to actual physical structure.
Yes.
There's lots of business online. So could you talk about
So that
online entrepreneurship?
absolutely, we call them digital entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
And there's a huge opportunity there. I tell people all the time, if you've got a skill, or if you know of a skill that you need to develop, start developing it, because hundreds of thousands, if not millions of jobs are posted online every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people that grab those jobs are in Southeast Asia, India, Singapore, Eastern Europe. And the truth is, we have such a massive advantage
Yes.
if we were serious. We are English speaking. We're actually the only English speaking country in South America,
Mhm.
right? We're in the same time zone as New York. We understand Western culture. So why aren't we leveraging platforms like Upwork.com, Freelancer.com, Guru.com, and applying for those jobs?
Yes.
Okay,
Even those person in universities.
Yes.
Even kids.
Look,
everybody.
I'll tell you, our very own executive assistant in the office,
Mhm.
on weekends when we're not working and things are not busy, she's using that as well because she's trying to grow her life. She's creating another income stream. So in addition to the security that she has with her job, she's dived into being a digital entrepreneur.
Exactly.
She does $40,000, $80,000 on a weekend.
Mhm.
On a weekend. Because you're serving an international market. Right? And what does she do? She tutors people how to speak English. Right? And that's just one of so many opportunities for graphic designers, for people who are writers, for people who can do research, for people who are programmers, who can build websites. The opportunities are endless. You just got to go out there, do your part to understand the ecosystem, create a profile on these platforms, and start applying for those jobs. It's a way to get more money in so you can start your business. Sometimes that becomes people's business. You know, I know someone in Guyana, I don't want to call his name, but who's building a small operation just like that. He started with himself and then realized he could train 2 people to do what he's doing. And then now he's bidding for more jobs and he pays them. And then he brought on 2 more individuals. So now he's got a small team of 6 people. And all he's doing is going out there, getting the opportunities, but he's farming out the work to his team members. And he's making sure that quality is at a certain level. So really, use your imagination as it relates to opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities out there.
Great. Okay, there are a lot of brilliant people in our country
Yes.
who have the idea and so on, but they might lack the support or the motivation to actually get the ball rolling, to take
Right.
action. What would you say to them? Because sometimes it takes it's hard
Yes.
up here
Yes.
mentally. How will you deal with your mental, like the mindset
Yes.
of an entrepreneur?
Yes.
How will you develop that mindset of an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. So there are two lines of thought on this.
Mhm.
Number one is an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
right? You just have this drive to be and to do and to sell. And the truth is, in as much as you've got the person who's like a born entrepreneur, is like a born leader, they've just got
So
that
you
edge.
that there-
No. That's what I'm saying is the other part of it.
Okay.
There's the other part of it where there are amazing individuals who have skill sets, who just need to learn the entrepreneurial mindset in order to achieve. See, you've got to look at it in two parts. There's the making, and then there's the marketing. You've got a lot of individuals who fall in love with the making. These are the artists and the freelancers and the folks who are writing books and making movies and designing websites. They fall in love with the making, the doing of it. But to be an entrepreneur, you've got to be able to sell. Okay? So you've got to understand the marketing of it as well. Okay? So when I talk about sort of like the born entrepreneur, if you will, if you want to use that terminology, it's the person who really likes the marketing. They like to get in front of people. They like to sell. There's some individuals who just have that. Right? But on the other side, you've got the folks who have the skill set but need to learn how to be an entrepreneur. Sales is really the lifeblood of your business. If you don't have sales coming in, I don't care how visionary you are. I don't care what amazing ideas you have. The business isn't sustainable.
Yes, and there are really easy ways to learn sales and marketing. There's online courses.
Absolutely.
All of
There are online courses, and you asked about, I guess support for these individuals who have ideas. I would say find a mentor. Find a mentor as quickly as you can. Get into a peer group of like-minded individuals who want to grow, who want to see success, who want to provide more value. Find those individuals and start to follow them and start to become part of that network, because they will help you, right? But in addition to that, you've got folks who, like you said, who are just going to go online. So soak up as much as you can.
Yes.
Read the books, watch the YouTube videos. There's no shortage of information. But the most important thing as an entrepreneur is your mindset.
Yes.
We talk about psychology versus strategy. See, we all know how to lose weight. We all know exactly what to do to lose weight. We all know the steps to build a business. You can go online and find it. We all know it. Right? We all know how to build a website. You can go online and find something that tells you how to build a website. And if you're a complete novice, you'll learn how to build a website. But that's the strategy side of it. That's not the biggest part of this equation. The psychology is the biggest part of it. The mindset is the biggest part of it. How willing are you to dive into it? How badly do you want it? How important is it to you?
And some people might say, I'm too busy to actually go in this new field. But
Right.
maybe if you're really passionate about
Yeah.
it, you'll find the time. Maybe you have to lose some sleep,
Yeah. So the I'm too busy, I've heard that so many times from individuals. And what I'll tell them is that I would like you to audit your time. Provide me with a day-to-day, hour-to-hour of what you're so busy. Tell me what you're doing, hour to hour. And if you could break it up into chunks of 30, even better. What are you doing from the minute you wake up to the moment you sleep? And you'll start to realize how much time you actually have.
And also you can start planning your day too.
Yes. Before you plan your day, even before you take that step of planning your day, you need to first have awareness as to how you currently run your day.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people get caught up on their phones, for example. You heard a ping, you went on your phone, you had to check it, but all of a sudden you're scrolling Facebook 5 minutes later. That's 5 minutes that you just gave up. Now let's add those 5 minutes up 10 times a day. Hang on a second. That's 50 minutes. So where's the I'm too busy? The I'm too busy is, in reality, I am not putting this high enough on my priority index. And if this is not high enough on it, well then we shouldn't complain. We shouldn't complain and say I'm too busy. And I think, again, entrepreneurs who have a level of self-awareness will know, hang on a second, I've got a great idea, but perhaps I'm not the guy who can go out there and sell it. Perhaps I need to find a partner. Perhaps I need to create a team. And I think that's lacking in Guyana. We don't think in terms of collaboration, because you can create a very strong organization with 2 or 3 people. We have somebody who's really great in finance, somebody who's an amazing salesperson, somebody who's got the people skills, and now all of a sudden you've got the dream team. What we see a lot of in Guyana is people who, maybe don't want to share the market share, and they want to do it all themselves, and they wonder why they get stuck and they kind of plateau because they're missing certain skill sets. So if you have an awareness that that's not the skill that I can work on right now, or it's not the area that I want to spend my time on, find people that you can add to your team, either at the partner level or at the team member level. That's how you grow a company. See, if you let's say you're a captain on a boat, on a ship. If you're tying the knots, and if you're the one who has to set the sail every day, and you're the one who has to take out the rows, and you have to row the boat, and you have to do all, then who's steering the ship? Someone's got to steer the ship, and you need a good team around you. And that's when you start to grow from initial idea, initial startup, to small business, medium sized, and so forth.
So what do you think is a core value that anyone that's considered entrepreneurship should develop and possess?
2 things. 2 things. Number 1, genuine curiosity.
I love that one.
As an entrepreneur, you've got to be able to ask the right questions. And in order to ask the right questions, you have to be curious about it. If you had an experience with a customer.
So, Rosh, if someone would like to get in contact with you to learn more about what's going on, where can they find you?
Sure. So we run an organization called the Masterclass Institute. We help to mentor individuals in the space of entrepreneurship. We offer other programs as well. So if you went to Facebook and you just search the Masterclass Institute, you'd be able to find our fan page. And if you just reached out to me personally, facebook.com/DRROSHKHAN, you'll find me. You can reach out to me as well. And folks can always give our office a call as well, 225-1842. That's 225-1842. Or reach out via email, Rosh, ROSH, @socialrankmedia.com.
All right, great. And if you know of anyone that might find this information valuable, feel free to share this video.
You want to find out, could I have done a better job with that customer? If you were able to do it in 20 minutes, is it possible to create a system to do it in 10 minutes? You've got to be curious. If you mapped out a system to bring goods into the country and you're working with one individual or one company and you have a good relationship, that's awesome. They're taking care of you. But ask yourself, can I do this even better? And by being a curious person, what you do is you adopt in Eastern philosophy what we call the beginner's mind. And the beginner's mind says, I will never profess to being the master, because the minute I claim that I'm the master, I lose. I say there's nothing more to learn. There's nowhere to grow. So by always being a beginner, you will always ask questions. As an entrepreneur, that's important. Think about a multidisciplinary approach. If you are looking, say you go to an event, for example, are you asking yourself, I like what they did at this event. How can I incorporate this into my business or into my next seminar? You're reading a book and you think, wow, I love how that entrepreneur or that author put that together.
Yeah.
How can I implement that? How can I incorporate that? By having this sort of curiosity mindset, it really changes the game and it opens your eyes up to all the opportunities out there. So I think curiosity as an entrepreneur is very important. That's one. And two, grit. As an entrepreneur, you have to have grit. There's a famous TED Talk about grit where this social psychologist ran some studies and they looked at what is the key indicator for success.
Yes.
It wasn't your IQ. It wasn't your level of health. It wasn't how good looking you were. It wasn't any of that. It wasn't any of that. It was about grit. It was about your level of resilience, your level of perseverance. As an entrepreneur, you are going to get knocked down a whole ton of times. It's about how you get right back up and keep going, because that's how you find the solution. We often say that the best way to succeed in business is to be in business. And that confuses a lot of people when we say that sometimes. But often you start with an idea. So you have to be in it. You start with an idea and then you realize only when you're in it, there are other opportunities around. Hang on a second. I can start to move into that area as well.
Yes.
Then you move, you pivot, and you go, hang on a second. In the periphery here, there are more opportunities. I can start to offer a different service. I can start to create a funnel. Hang on a second. And you'll only see those opportunities if you take the leap, if you take the jump and you're in it. And on that journey from pivoting from one idea to another, you're going to have struggles. You're going to stumble. So it's about how often you get up. There's a Chinese proverb that I love: fall down 7, get up 8.
Lovely.
I think that's what it takes to be an entrepreneur.
Thank you very much. I must say I'm really grateful for what you shared here. I really admire your strive to really add value to others, and I must thank you for making the time out of your busy schedule to be here.
It's my pleasure.
Good. So now the conversation on entrepreneurship doesn't end here. Please leave a comment below what you thought of what was said today. What single insight will you take away from Rosh's brilliant ideas and strategies? So leave a comment below or ask a question, and myself and Rosh will be replying to you.
Awesome.
So remember, this was Pocket of Inspiration. Stay true to yourself, and I'll see you guys next time.